We recap everything you need to know in the opening. And look, we looked at, I'll fully admit this, we went back and looked at the Eccleston Doctor Who reboot. And like, all right, how'd they do it? Because that's a lot of stuff. And the trick is don't explain it. Show it. Audiences are so smart. Genre audiences in particular have been watching variations of these things for a long time. They're smarter than you. They'll figure it out. You don't have to spoon feed them. And so you get bonus points if you watch the first three. You'll understand who the Serpent Society is as the recurring villains. You'll understand why he's gone a little mad. But the show works perfectly fine if you come into this going, oh, he's the guardian of magic. He's a little mad. These are the new people. And something bad happens. I firmly believe, and it's not just for the show itself, but for the series. For me, first season, and often first two seasons, the episode should be standalone enough that you can go, oh, this is a great show. I don't have to catch up on Netflix. No, you can jump in because it's so hard, because people feel excluded now if they get too far behind. But, so it's cool if you watch one or intermittently, but you are rewarded if you watch all of them. If you watch all of them, by the time you get to the finale, you go, I know what you're doing and who he is and why he wants that and why you did that in episode 4. And to me, that's part of the dialogue with the audience.
How did you pull together this cast, and how did you...
They have agents. You call them, they just die.
How did you choose this cast?
Honestly, it was a mix of it was a lot of auditions. It was a mix of auditions. I mean, we actually auditioned other people for Stone, but Kane is the guy. I mean, we kind of wrote it with him in mind, and because we wanted to work together. And that's a thing I think people don't understand. People who work in Hollywood want to work with their friends and just hang out and be with people they think are cool. And so when you have an opportunity, I knew what I wanted the characters to be. Each character has their own skill, but each character is a way that they wasted or hurt themselves with that skill. And so I knew what I wanted that guy to be, and so Christian slotted into that. But Cassandra was straight auditions. It's just like come in and do these 2 big speeches, 2 giant speeches where they run through a page and a half of mental mathematics while they're doing a nervous breakdown. And we saw some great actresses, but Lindy just killed it. John Kim, we got off a tape. He sent in the audition, and we're like, well, because we thought the show is international. I hate the whole, look, it's a bunch of Americans saving the world again. No, there's other people around. And he came in, and we saw the tape, and we're like, that's an interesting combination of human. That's Australian Asian is not a thing that drops out of the sky every day. And he came in, and he was lovely. And John Larroquette was just so great. He was looking to do something kind of light and fun because he'd been doing a lot of serious drama lately in theater. And and Rebecca, we had prototype tough actresses you believe can throw a punch. And it's funny because she's so beautiful, but when you meet her, she's got a set of shoulders on her like a freaking softball player. And it's like I buy that she's physical, and she's got a really dry sense of humor, which was fun because you don't get to see her do it a lot. But after the first couple weeks, we started adjusting the dialogue because we learned how her jokes work and we learned how her attitude works. So the cast came together the way it always does, but in this one it really was almost a different thing for each one. I had you in mind. You were straight auditions. I've never heard of you, and we like you. It was very much, but it was all done extremely quickly because the scheduling we had to work around for Noah's availability.
One of the things I loved about Leverage was your behind the scenes.
Cool T-shirt, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I loved your behind the scenes blogs and the Q&As with fans and things. Do you have any intention?
Yeah, we'll be doing that. We've already recorded a series of video logs with each of the writers that talk about the episode coming up. Hopefully, we're still working out the schedule, but hopefully after every episode, we'll be able to do a podcast like we did. If not, I'll be answering questions on the website again. So, but yeah, I like the dialogue with the fans, and everyone's always been very respectful with me. I mean, you set down your boundaries, and don't pitch me stories. Everyone here is here because they like the show. Don't harsh my fun, and you can say whatever the hell you want. I like it. It means people are watching. Well, part of the reason was we had to throw the show together so quickly. Really, once we figured out the schedule, we're like, we have 5 weeks. You usually have about 6 months between when you're going to make a show and even shoot the pilot, and then you have another 4 months. So it was, okay, we are self-financing the show again, just like Leverage was self-financed. So it's a small footprint. We have to make it cheaply. We know that city, and we know the scope. And there was even, we know the place, that area around it well enough. We have an episode that happens partially at the Vatican and partially in a little courtyard outside the Vatican. And we were looking at the reference photos, and I was like, down by the donut shop on 2nd and Ankeny, there's a there's a fountain with some cobblestone, and we actually went down and we shot literally that one direction, and it looks fine. So it just had a lot of advantages. Besides the physical production, it's just really nice to shoot there too. The state is super welcoming. People don't honk their horns and interfere with the shoot. They're very sweet and nice. The local actor pool's ridiculously good. You know, Leah Zwar, who was on Leverage in the Carnival episode, is one of our actors in this. We brought her back, not in the same character, of course, but as a different character. But she just got accepted to Yale Drama. I mean, that Portland acting crew is ridiculous. So, a lot of advantages.
You've got an amazing set of guest stars.
Yes.
Coming up. Can you tell us about guest stars you have coming up and how you kind of got them into this?
Look, I think.
Their arcs.
Well, you know what it is. Well, Matt liked the character. Matt, especially when we told him what his secret was, because as you go through, you see like John Larroquette and Matt Frew. You're like, oh, the background bad guys or the background old dude. I know that. And about episode 5 or 6, you're gonna go, there's whole bunches of stuff going on back there that we missed. We should go back and watch this again. And so Matt just dug the character, and he loves doing genre stuff. Bruce Campbell lives in Oregon. And so it was one of those things where it was always, you don't want to offer him anything but the most interesting thing you have. And it was a little bit of it was, who'd be really cool as just kind of an angry Santa? Bruce Campbell. And so a lot of it is just find a good character and put it out there. And of course, all of us have worked for a long time in the different industry. Like Mark Roskin, one of our producing director and executive producer of the show, had worked with Trisha Helfer on a TV show. So when he was directing that episode, he's like, God, I should call Trisha. She'd love this. And it was literally, she came, yeah, absolutely. She banged out for a week, and she played a great villain role. So a lot of it is just the fun of it. Is just, and our scripts are, no one else is making these. Each one's a standalone fun adventure, so it's not like a guest star on some shows where you read it and you go, I suppose I'm important? I'm one person in an episode arc and I have no context for this? Each one, like, you know who you are, you know how much fun you're going to have, you know what you're going to do. Want to play? Look, it's 5-7 days out of your life. Come out and have fun. But a lot of it is also just making sure that we make sure each one of them is also a fully realized character. You're not just the villain, you have an agenda, you have a want, you have a need, you have conflict with the main characters. You're not just there to stroke the cat,